put some work up there, didn't he? And they got to tell you about how he's in captivity, how much he hate that place. We don't know that. The thing we're trying to do now is recover ourselves, get ourselves back to where we belong. Isn't that right? That's by trying to take hold of a state that we lost. He told y'all some things that's kind of key for everybody to know. They talk about manifesting and showing. That's something that we try to do as well. Just for we got away, Yahusha chapter 5, verse 17. We're talking about mimicking. Very true. Same thing with Barashit, chapter 1. Jump down at verse 25. And Barashit. Before you give me that 125, get Barashit. Two. 2 and about 14. Let's see what that says right quick. 5:17, Yahusha. Listen.
But Yahusha answered them, my Father worketh hitherto.
My who?
My Father worketh hitherto.
Reason why we're going to look at the Father is for what reason? Because he's the begotter. You got to remember what the Father is, a begotter. The Father is the begotter, and he is the person that distributes the seed. That's why we refer to a farmer as a husbandman, because the man has the seed, which is going to give you the milk. Remember? The semen? Huh? And that semen is going to come from where? The yard. That's why white men hate black men, because of the yard. This got us in a lot of problems too, the yard. But these are things that's going to be key for you. When he told you, my Father worketh hitherto, and
I work.
Remember where the seed was. The seed was in itself. So we look at just like when the seeds are put out there, where do they come from? They come from the husbandman. The husbandman is the one that's responsible for putting seed out. The seed came from the Father. That Father, in turn, puts out a seed that he's looking to reproduce or to mimic. You know, got it? That's the same thing we have to do now. We're here to mimic. We learned mimicking as well when they sat down and they had Yahusha. When they began to do what to him? Mark him. They was mimicking him. Isn't that right? Who else we found? Who did we learn mimicking from first? From who? Who did we learn mimicking from first? Who did y'all learn mimicking from first? Well, y'all got me on that one. That's right, Ishmael. Ishmael as well. But then we learned as well, we learned it from who? I keep saying Jacob. Well, you got it from there as well. Y'all keep saying Jacob. But who I was going to as well, you would look at Shumuel. When Hannah began to speak, her lips would move, but no words would come out. Shumuel said that he started to mimic her. He started to do the same thing he saw her doing, but nothing came out. So now we look at, when we go through all the examples you gave her right, we learned it from Ishmael as well. When Ishmael sat down and began to mimic our father, Yahusha. Isn't that right? We learned it as well when we learned it from Jacob, who sat down and began to mimic his brother. Isn't that right? So we find these same acts. He knew in order to receive something, these people demonstrated the same thing. What wound up happening, if you look just from that little bit of Ishmael mimicking the babe, he wound up getting part of a promise. Isn't that right? From that mimicking. Now we look at if there's a continuance of us mimicking and actually exemplifying, you should take part of the promise as well. We look at with every one of the fathers that came down from Abraham. When you look at your Yahusha and Jacob, these men all tied into the promise because they came right back to mimic what they saw Abraham do, even to going back and dwelling in the land, even from keeping the covenant of keeping themselves separated from the nations. So now we look at all these same things and we're going to try to obtain the promise. Y'all got me? Now we find him saying, hitherto my who?
My father worketh.
And what happened, son?
And I work.
Tell him what happened.
Therefore, the Yahudim sought the more to kill him
Tell him why, son.
because he not only had broken the Shabbat,
But had did what?
said also that Alahym was his father,
What did that do?
making himself equal with Alahym.
At the second chapter of the book of Barashit. Barashit, chapter 2 at verse 14. Listen.
And the name of the third river was Hedikel, that is it which goes toward the east of Assyria.
Yeah.
And the fourth river is Euphrates. And Alahym took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
Back me up at verse 6. Listen.
But there went up a mist from the Aritz
Yes.
and watered the whole face of the ground.
Yes.
And Alahym formed man of the dust of the ground
Yes.
and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
And what happened?
And man became a living soul.
What did he do to man again?
Breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
And man,
Became a living soul.
that's why it's important to know about the paw. He's telling you about the mouth. There's a couple of things you're going to look at. You're going to look at utterance. That's what we look at getting from the mouth. From the mouth, he began to blow. Y'all got it? We look at the wind. He used the wind as being exemplified, or the wind being something that mimicked the spirit or the ruach. So we look at it when actually wind he gave, he would actually have given him the spirit or the ruach. You got me? So this is what we look at as well with the paw. So then you look at his seed came out and it got into the man. And man became a living soul at 126, 125 of Barashit. Listen.
And Alahym said, let us make man in our image,
In our what?
after our likeness,
Uh-huh.
and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea,
Yeah.
and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the Aritz, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the Aritz.
Uh-huh.
So Alahym created man in his own image.
So what happened?
Alahym created man in his own image.
So that seed that got inside of the man will come along and be a replica of what he did. Isn't that right? In order for him to have the strength, the mind, the understanding, or the comprehension to be able to do these things, he had to come out from somewhere. So we look at what he did. He put his seed inside of the man by putting the ruach inside of it. And it allowed the man to come along and mimic or imitate the very same things that he did. Now, this is what we got to go back and look at for ourselves. Why is it that we can't find ourselves with a definite trait back to the Father? Because we got to start looking at why don't we manifest what he gave us to do? It's because we lack something. And that's obtaining the spirit or the ruach. That's why we're here. Y'all got me? So you can obtain the ruach. So you can come along, you will have the seed, which will allow you to mimic, will allow you to be able to keep a constant behavior and will keep you away from sin, knowing that the Father hates sin. Y'all got me? The book told you he can't be tempted with it. Isn't that right? No man can even tempt him with him. At the book of Yaakov right quick. 113. He talked about the seed. Jacob, 113. Other brother, we're going to finish up at Kaf. Aleph. Four, 1. Kaf, Aleph, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of Jacob 1 and 13. Listen.
Let no man say,
What happened, son?
when he is tempted, I am tempted of Alahym,
Yes.
for Alahym cannot be tempted with evil.
So you can see why he told you whosoever is born of him doth not commit. He doth not practice. It's not a regular regimen or behavior for him. Because he's letting you know about him. This is the purpose of him telling us of being born again. Because once you're born of him, you got to go back to look at the Father's trait. And that right, his trait is, when you do these, you can't say you got it from him. Listen why.
Neither tempteth he any man,
Listen.
but
Can
every
somebody
man
please turn their phone off and keep getting their radio alert? All you got to do is turn the volume down. Why y'all got these phones on anyway? Listen.
but every man is tempted
Every man is tempted.
when he is drawn away of his own lust.
They probably Noah calling him telling about that rain. It's already done happened. Anybody say, see here is new? He's always that Noah talking, he finna be. I'm talking rain. It ain't never rain. Listen.
and enticed.
And I'm just trying to figure out, we got clear weather all the way up to like the end of this week. Why is he getting weather alerts? Why would you be sending somebody that ain't got no kids alert about missing kids? Huh? That's like sending a guy with no legs an invitation to a dance. What he gonna do? 999, 980. And then what he gonna do? He gonna put on his boogie shoes. I'm gonna say the next one. Listen.
Then, when lust hath conceived,
Yes.
it bringeth forth sin.
And what happened?
Sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
So this is why we look at it. We go back to look at the Father, because we start to look at trait and behavior, what we're trying to obtain. Then you got to look at the point and why it's necessary for you to take on the Ruach. Come on, son, give me to the book of Kaf. Kaf, Olive, 4-1, so I can get ready and get out of him. So like you did better than I seen you doing a lot of times. They kept talking about how much he hate that place, making me wonder what he getting ready to do. Ain't that right? Never sit there black behind down right here like the rest of us. Ain't that right? We him. Ain't nothing we can do but sit him. Till like we went into Babylon, he told her he put us under the yoke. He said, I made you go under the yoke. We got to sit here. We don't like it, but we got to sit here. You know what he did? Just like he did with our father, Yahusha. He done gave us favor. Amen. Ain't that right? Ain't but so much you're going to get because you're in captivity. Just like when Pharaoh came in and we couldn't make it at first, as far as I could make it, I make it the second highest ruler him. Ain't that right? We done given us favor. When you look at where we came from in this rotten, God-forsaken place, people don't look at where we come from and where we at. We've advanced furthermore than any other nationality ever have coming out of captivity. A lot of times people don't want to give us credit when you come back and look at how resilient we are. There's no other people that ever came and been captive over people and rose up to run the same people. Ain't that right? Signs of him showing, come back showing, we coming out of that place. We coming out of this place. Amen. We excelled in his military. We done been in first secretary of state black. We done took every all we had. We done made Supreme Court. We done made everything the man that had. The only thing that made that make our way out of him. Ain't that right? In order for that to happen, though, we need to make our way with Alahym. Now we're going to go back and look at what the seed should produce for us. Now we're going to look at the seed, the importance of the seed, because in the garden he made the man mimic. The man went in duration of doing what he did. Well, the problem came when man got away from doing what he saw, when he got away from what he was taught, and that's what we got to come back to look at now. This is the first chapter, Kaf, Aleph, chapter 4 at verse 1. Listen.
For as much then
as
the Mashiach
has suffered
for us in the flesh, yourselves likewise
with the what?
Same mind.
See that? Information. Also, when you go here into the you're going to find knowledge. You know, to the part, we got to get the same knowledge, right? We're going to look at the reason we look at the part because we find it in the olive. Isn't that right? It's going to tie us right back to the Father. Isn't that right? So this is what we're trying to obtain so we can get away from committing sin, folks. So we can get a constant or a continual behavior, which is going to put us back to becoming the sons of noon. That's what we're trying to do. Continual, perpetual. Isn't that right? The resprout. That's what we're trying to do, right? Being born again, that's the resprout. That's what you do when you take seed out from a plant and you put it in the ground. Guess what? It's being born again. Listen.
For he that has suffered in the flesh
has
ceased from sin,
that he should no longer
live the rest of his time
to the what?
In the flesh, to the lust of men,
but
to the will of Alahym.
So what we got to do? We got to get away from these things. Let me just tell y'all something that people don't consider and don't know. In actuality of being born again, you cut ties. You have to severtize the Zun. You got to cut ties with people. You really do. People don't actually consider that, do you? When he talked about being born again, he actually demonstrated that people missed it. He showed you a lifestyle before where he was in the flesh, and yet he still had the spirit, and he had the ruach, and he showed you how he can conduct himself while still being connected to people. At the point of his death, he showed you where he servitized with people. Y'all missed it. You missed it. Yahusha, chapter 19, verse 26. This is why a lot of people I thought about it. It's so many people been through these doors and gone. It's ridiculous. And it's going to be more. Other brother, son, get ready to go. Give me Acts of the Apostle for whatever reason. Acts chapter 7. I'll read down. Give me verse 23. 7:23. I'll try to finish up. Yahusha, 19:26. Other brother, give me Acts of the Apostles, chapter 7, about verse 23. Listen.
When Yahusha therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by whom he loved,
What happened?
he saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son.
What happened?
Then he saith to the disciple, Behold thy mother.
Uh-huh.
And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home.
Back me up at verse 26 again.
When Yahusha therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by whom he loved, he saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then saith he to the disciple, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home.
Acts of the Apostles, chapter 7, verse 23. Listen.
And when he was full 40 years old, it
Back
came.
me up and give me verse 19. We'll read down. Listen.
The same dealt subtly with our kindred and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children to the end they might not live.
Listen.
In which time Moshe was born and was exceeding fair and nourished up in
You
his
know what's the
father's.
matter? I tell you again, none of these babies were ugly. I watch all these ugly kids. I don't pay no attention. I just be looking, just keep going. Everybody keep telling y'all about it. The man say he gonna be like me. The book told he was a really good looking child. For whatever reason, these folks tell me this stuff ain't important. You need to be thinking, when you look in the mirror, you need to think about it. This race mixing have messed some of y'all up. Cause I don't know why you keep reading. They always keep specifying about how, why don't they just say Moshe was decent and key to the, you know what I'm saying? Moshe and then he was thrown out. It was important for y'all to know something about the man. He was real good looking. And he told you the man gonna raise up a man like unto me. He gonna be just like me. Come right along showing you he's gonna mimic, same seed. Because all of them obtained the same ruach. They all operated from the same ruach. Well, make no sense. Shama, Dahu, Shaluma, then Musha, all these people come along, they good looking, and they all had the ruach that was in common. And then he come along having, he's just the ugliest he want to be. All right. Someone looking around there, don't blame me, blame your mama. All you had to do with 2 things. 3, cross, squeeze, and roll. That'll end that. But come on.
And nourished up in his father's house 3 months.
Nourish up what?
In his father's house 3 months.
Talk to me.
And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son.
Tell him what happened, son.
And Moshe was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and in deeds.
Listen.
And when he was full 40 years old.
And when he was what?
Full 40 years old.
And when he was what?
Full 40 years old.
Tell him what happened.
It came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Yasharal.
Come on.
And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed and smote the Egyptian.
Come on.
For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that Alahym by his hand would deliver them.
Come on.
But they understood not. And the next day he shewed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren, why do ye wrong one to another?
Yes.
But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge over us?
Come on.
Wilt thou kill me as thou didst the Egyptian yesterday? Then fled Moshe at this saying, and was a stranger in the land of Madian, where he begat 2 sons. And when 40 years were expired, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai and Malachi
Make it
of...
Abarim. That's what I want. Abarim, chapter 11. Let me see, chapter 11. Let me see, verse 11. Listen.
Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in the multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable.
Make it verse 22. We'll see what happens. Listen.
By faith Yatsakut blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith Jacob, when he was a dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph, and worshipped, leaning upon the top of his staff.
Yeah.
By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Yahusha,
Listen.
and gave commandment concerning his bones.
Listen.
By faith, Moshe, when he was born,
Who?
Moshe,
When he was what?
born,
Tell him what happened.
was hid 3 months of his parents,
Listen.
because they saw he was a proper child.
They say he was good looking. Too right to tell y'all about the boy one ugly. Y'all need to check this stuff out. Listen.
And they were not afraid of the king's commandment.
What happened?
By faith, Moshe, when he was come to years.
By who?
By faith, Moshe, when he was come to years.
By faith who now?
Moshe,
When he became what?
when he was come to years,
Tell him what he did, son.
refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
I don't know why y'all call him the son of Maureen. He gave away his mother. That's why y'all got to teach him.
Amen.
See, a lot of people don't realize what you got to do. That's why a lot of y'all not going to make it. He looked at he was becoming an age. I can't keep calling you my mother. That's why y'all ain't going to make it. That's the kind of tie you had to serve. You didn't know why he was up on the toot, why he did it. Moshe told you going to be like me. When he come a year, you can't come. I know what you call the son? Don't call me that. See, people don't realize that's an insult when you walk around, you still call him Maureen's son. When he came of age, he refused to be called by that. So you did that before when you didn't know who he was. 13th chapter, book of Matthew, 13:57. I wish I knew what I was doing. See, a lot of stuff y'all don't know about it. I just leave y'all because I know. A lot of stuff I don't go with y'all because I told you too elementary. A lot of stuff you don't realize you got to give up. You got to get ready to get away from. He told you no man having left houses, mothers, land, father, for my name's sake won't receive double. What said they going to tell you to do that? Leave your wife, leave your father, leave your mother, and I'm going to keep mine. So you still going around calling me the son of Yahusha. All right, that's what you want to do. But you ain't pay attention because I told you had to leave yours. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. I already know y'all ain't going to be saved, but I stay up here and I waste my time anyway. He had me to do. I ain't wasting time. Somebody going to be saved.
Amen.
Somebody going to be saved. The man came of age. That's why he gave away. He realized, listen, I'm about to be grown. I can't keep holding on to you. Son, you behold your mother. Woman, behold your being. From that hour, she went to his house. Come on, son. Matthew 13:57. 54? 54. Make it 53. I'm going to also think he's so smart. Listen.
And it came to pass that when Yahusha had finished these parables, he departed thence. And when he was coming to
finish these marshally, these bywords, these adage. Come on.
And when he was coming to his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished and said, whence had this man this wisdom?
Yeah.
And these mighty works?
See that? Just like Moshe. Moshe was taught in all the ways in their wisdom. They want to know whence did this man have all this. He was taught in all that. He was in their synagogues. He was taught it. That's why he said here he started displaying. Just like with Moshe, how were they going to know this man had this type of knowledge in all the ways of Mizraim if he couldn't teach it? Y'all don't pay attention. They just don't pay attention. How they going to know it? Moshe had to demonstrate it. Well, it's just word of mouth. The people heard it. They knew. He knew all the wisdom of it. He was taught in it. This is the same thing he told you about this man. He's going to be like me. He's going to be taught in all the ways and the knowledge. So where he going to teach it? In their synagogues. This makes sense for him to be here and to show them, I know all of your stuff. Listen.
Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Maureen?
See, he had to stop that. He had to cut that off. I don't want y'all to keep calling me that. That's an insult. Every December 25th, you got a caught baby laying in the grass with a white woman leaning over. It's an insult on a lot of end. In fact, you keep calling her his mother. Because he told you had to be born again. When you were born again, you can't account him to that.
Amen.
We went back and we keep him according to, we recognize him as the son of Daud only because of the promise. Isn't that right? But we know he was declared to be the son of Alahym with power. That's when he got up, he said, we can leave that Daud alone then. I didn't get up and say all Yashra. I didn't get up and say all Yahudim. I said all authority. I would declare this to be the son of Alahym. That's why I had to give away my mother. It don't make sense to give away my mother and keep my father. So why y'all still referring to him as the son of Yahusha? as the son of Marim? Why did you just keep referring to Moshe as the son of the daughter of Pharaoh? The book said he refused to be called that. Don't call me that. You know what y'all problem is? You the same old nigga you used to be. So we right back to where we start. He put up here, the truth be told, you the same old nigga you used to be. That's where your confidence got to be. Now you're not going to be saved because you can't break away from what you got. That's what hold you. 19th chapter of the book of Matthew. 19:26, I let him go. He tried to tell you, my people doth not even know. He said, they don't even consider. Man said, hitherto my father worked, I work. And they began to kill. They wanted to kill him. Why? Not because he had broke Shabbat, but what happened? He had said that Alahym was his father, making himself what? So how you going to go along and give me a mother? How am I going to be equal to him? Who is Alahym's mother? Who is his father? That's why I made him a priest after the order of Melchizedek. Because he without father, without mother. Without beginning of days, without ending of days. Amen. Too much you don't know. But that's why I'm here. 23. Let's see what it says. Listen.
Then
19.
said Yahusha unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of Shamayim.
Come on, son.
And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle
Dan,
for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of Alahym.
talk to me, son.
When his disciples heard it,
They want to know
they were exceedingly amazed, saying,
who?
then can be saved.
That's all I want to know, who can be saved. Talk to me, son.
But Yahusha beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible.
But with Alahym,
All things are possible.
talk to me, son.
Then answered Cuff and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee.
Tell me what happened, son.
What shall we have therefore?
Come on.
And Yahusha said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Ben of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones,
Doing what?
judging the 12 tribes of
Then when he said
Yasharal.
those that follow him, whose seed is in itself, they follow, mimic the same behavior. He said, I'm going to sit on the throne. What sense is it going to make you going to mimic me and you sit on and you're not going to sit on one? He said in the regeneration, when I sit on my throne, guess what? You're going to sit on your throne. This is what had to happen, though.
And every one
Every who?
and every one
That have done what?
forsaken houses or brethren,
Foster had a hole, bird have nest, but the Son of Man had. Y'all didn't pay attention to that either in the 7th chapter of the book of Acts of the Apostles. Guess y'all didn't pay attention. Told you about 3 months with Moshe. 3 months he was cast out. At the age of 30, Yahusha had to leave home. Foxes had hole, birds have nests. He said, but the son of Alahym had nowhere to lay his head. Son of Ben had nowhere to lay his head. His mother and them cast him out. They were through nurse. At that point, they had to cast him out. He had to go. At the age of 30, he had to get out. That's why the book told the book of Oriel, and he began to be 30 years of age as it was supposed. Those months were actually talking about his years. Don't worry about it. Listen.
or brethren, or sisters, or father.
Who you going to go and connect? What's his brother name now? You don't still talk about them? Huh? So he going to tell you that people that done this, what sense it make he still held on to his sister and his brother? If he gave away his mother, he kept his brothers. How is he going to be after the order of Melchizedek? The sad part y'all don't look at when you look in the 5th chapter of the book of Kazum, they all fell down and told that he made us Malachi and made us Kohans. Now we're going to be made Kohans and we're going to come after him and not after the order of Aaron, after Harun. How in the world you still got mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers? Because you don't know. We're talking about, he brought this up, he talked about the seed, talking about mimicking. In duration, consistently, continually. That's why we look at the order, how he got his throne, how he got his position. It's a continual position. Listen.
or mother, or
Wow. So he still got Maureen. Huh? Come on.
or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
So that's the purpose of what you're looking at gaining, why you're giving up this stuff. Why are you looking at separating yourself? Huh? While we're here, we operate, we use these people. We understand it comes a point in time where you got to separate yourself. Huh? Same thing with a piece of fruit. It's got to separate itself. It looks beautiful when it's on that tree, but you know what? In order for it to really go and produce anything, it's got to break away. That's why he told Abraham he had to get out from his father's house. Can't leave that fruit attached to the tree. Huh? Eventually it just overgrow and die. It's got to disconnect itself. Huh? Are y'all all right? Yes, sir. Just like when you got in the field, you can't leave it just sitting in the field or connected to the stalk, can you? You got to take it away. That's the same thing we're looking at now. He was taking him away. I can't leave him connected there. You know, they have a saying, I'm getting ready to let y'all go at the flower in the funeral home business. Sometime you'll look on some of the back and they'll say that in their little so-called saying, they'll say that God has a garden. And say every now and then he'll look down here on earth and he'll take one of the flowers that he want to put up in his garden. That's one of the little sayings they'll put, little cute saying to make people feel good about their little sinning friends and family members that's dead. You don't want this rotten garbage. But it is true that he's going to take it because you're his fruit. He's going to take you and going to put you in his barn. Isn't that right? Which means I'm going to separate you from the stalk. I'm going to cut you away from the tree. You know, I'm going to have to pluck you up from where you at so I can put you inside my garden. That's what a husband do. He don't plant it to leave it out there to die. He plugs it so he can have it later. He can come and he can put it in his storehouse for storage. And that for another time. Isn't that right? And that's the same mindset you got to have. So we have to make ourselves to become something that he desires. You got me? Y'all got me? So he made us for a purpose, and we got to mimic that behavior, or the same behavior that the son showed us. In that same second chapter of the Olive, chapter 2, verse 20 right quick. Let's see what he told us he left us. They can get ready to bring out the basket. And go ahead and get y'all money so I can get finished. So I can get in here and get to work. So y'all don't hold me up when I get finished. And I get finished, let me go and do what I do so I can get in here and go to work. So I can get ready and go home. I used to hear a whole bunch of lies. I heard the truth. The truth make you free. Olive, chapter 2, verse 20. Let's see what he did. Listen.
For what glory is it, if when ye be buffeted for your faults,
Yeah.
ye shall take it patiently?
Yeah.
But if, when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable with Alahym.
That's the same thing in here with y'all. Some of y'all being buffeted for stuff you hadn't done wrong. The book said, what glory if you get buffeted for something you done wrong and you take it? You done wrong. What you expect? Man, pull him up, I'm doing 108 miles an hour. I'm going to pull up and say, I ain't even going to lie. I was doing 108 miles an hour. Why you think I pulled you over, nigga? What are you supposed to get, some kind of honest reward because you got pulled over doing 108 and you said you did 108? He said, okay, because I want my God to get his glory. He not getting no glory. He got the glory. You just obeyed. So he telling you something. Listen what happened, though.
For even hereunto were ye
Bad
called.
mouth, son. He said, what glory is it if when you're buffeted for your faults, you do what?
Ye shall take it patiently.
Yes.
But if, when ye do well,
That's when you want to start looking at. When you hadn't done nothing wrong. You've been falsely accused. What happened, son?
and suffer for it,
And you go ahead and you go through for it. Tell them what happened.
ye take it patiently.
And you take it and you wait. What happened, son?
This is acceptable with Alahym.
See, we don't miss that too, huh? We forget. Ain't nobody been out long, though. Man, we finna tear up something here. Cut the food. Man said, sit there and take it patiently. He said, that thing's worth to me. That's what I like. You said that you take it for something you done wrong. He said, I'm getting none of that. I'm trying to figure why you did wrong. I stole Leon money. Leon, who stole my money? Well, I don't used to be telling no lie. Might well be honest because I don't want to shame my God. Leon, I stole your money. Oh, he looking and saying, why was I stealing? Why were you stealing? See, that's the mindset we got. We thinking he get the glory when you sit around you being honest about something wrong. He gets the glory when you're not doing wrong and you suffer for it. See, a lot of times we don't know this, and this is why we faint in the day of adversity. Because we don't consider a lot of times you put in situations, just like EU, they kept trying to find fault. But what did he do wrong? Nothing. Because he mimicked somebody else who did no sin, neither was God found in his mouth. You know why we can believe that? We can go back and look at EU. What did he do? What did he do with his mouth? No deceit. His wife tried to tell him, won't you go ahead and curse him? Say, you sound like a foolish woman. Huh? Shall we receive evil from him and not receive good? He never had a contemptible speech. That's the same thing you look at mimicking. Listen.
For even hereunto
Were ye
called.
That's what you were made for. A lot of times we wonder why we're going through stuff. Why stuff happening all the time? We hadn't done that. The book said this is what you were called for.
Amen.
So we don't know your call? Listen.
Because the Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example.
Wow. Leaving us a what?
Example.
That we should do what?
Follow his steps.
And who did what?
No sin.
And neither was what?
Guile found in his mouth.
Right back to EU. Persecuted. Persecuted. For what though? Without a cause. See that? A lot of times we don't realize, you know why we have to come together and hear the word? Because a lot of times we all go through these different adversity from day in or whenever it might be or from time to time. A lot of times it's easy to get overwhelmed, especially when you don't occupy yourself or your mind with the word. It's easy to just always blame something that something's wrong and you're not right and he not working or using you or no favor for you because you looking at things the way other people see things. Nothing don't happen to those people. You're exactly right because he don't care nothing about those people. People don't realize why me, why all that, why? Because I'm trying to let you know you've been considered. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to be like you said. This is what everybody desires, want to be like Yahusha. Ain't never had a song to be like Jesus. Ain't that right? Oh, how long? That's what you want. The apostle asked him that. They want to know, because they sit on his right hand. He said, can you drink the cup I drink? Can you eat what I eat? He said, you can do that. See, a lot of times you ask for stuff, but can you really take it? And he showed you, when you get these small little small things you go, they don't even cost you your life. Don't even cost you prison time and you faint. What you going to do to these people put you and start slapping on you and beating on you? What you going to do to these people put you in prison? What you going to do to these people spit on you? That's why he told you, you don't know what you asked for. Let's just take our time and learn how to walk. The man told us, he left us an example. That we should do what?
That ye should follow his steps.
And do what?
Who did no
Same
sin.
thing. And neither was what?
Guile found in his mouth.
Because we look at the seed remained in him. Come on.
Who, when he was reviled,
Did what?
reviled not again.
Listen.
When he suffered,
He did
threatened
what?
not,
He threatened not.
but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
See that? I don't expect these people to do nothing, to come up and try to give me a right for justification. He said he committed himself, who judge? What you expect these people to do when you go before them? They always going to give you the wrong judgment. Why would he set that ask for these people to judge? Remind us of who? Daud. He was appointed 3 times. He said, let me now fall in the hands of Alahym. He said, my enemies are cruel. He realized that these people are not going to be just. He said, let me fall in the hands of Alahym. I fall in the hands of Alahym. Whatever he do, it's going to be just. But if I ask to get in these people's hands, I go to court, what do I expect these people to do? They're always going to come up wrong. It's never going to work out in my favor. Look who I'm dealing with. They can have somebody that's worse than me every time. They're going to give them people a break. I know they're going to throw the book at me. What you accused of? Really, we ain't got nothing on him. I'm sick of this, John. Let's give him 20 years. Murderer, child molester, raper, walk out of here, nothing. Probate. Matter of fact, probation suspended. And give him a check, too. What you expect they're going to get their own? He said, if you were of the world will love you, but the world love his own.
That's right.
These are signs showing that he told us these things before they happen. So it ain't like we hearing about it after. Had we stayed and apply ourselves to the word, we'll see. He already told us. Whenever we go before these people, what we expecting? Don't even give our heart to think these people going to do just. They love their own. It made sense for them to cry for Barabbas. The book said that man was, everybody knew the man was a criminal. Let him go. That man ain't did nothing wrong. He be trying to help people. Yahusha done healed people, fed people, raised dead people up. That nigga, kill that nigga. He's a murderer. Man, he killed nobody. Gave sight to the blind. Fed 5,000 men, not including women and children. And that's what the people cried for. You know, he looked at why he ain't argue. He looked at what you expect. These people love their own. Don't ever put your expectation. These people, you had to go before your judge, your job or wherever, and these folks got something. I already know, look for the worst. Look for the worst. That's just how it is. You look at who they going to love. If it's something between you and another employee and the other employee dead wrong on film, you already know they're going to say, yeah, the film don't show everything. You were doing something, though. What happened before the tape kicked on? You say, that's how I expect. They're being honest. When you put your heart to already know what to expect from these people, they'll never let you down. When you put your heart in these people saying, I just know they got to do right, you looking for failure. Mm-hmm. He already knew what was going to happen when he went. I already knew. That's why he ain't arguing with them. He looked at, man, I ain't got nothing to say to these people. I already know what they're going to do. You're sinners, and sinners going to always judge wrong. Y'all got me? Amen. So get your mind off of depending on these people. That'll get our mind more when we start looking to him. That's the author and finisher, somebody responsible for our latter end. These people ain't responsible for our latter end.
That's right.
Stop putting your hope in them.
Right.
Y'all hear me? Stop putting all your love in these people. Y'all got me?
Amen.
All right, that's good. Let's get ready to go.